Hello everyone and welcome to week 3 of the guitar focus. So we're going to look at bar chords. So hopefully you can already do some open chords, you can already do a little bit of playing. Bar chords is the next step. So first of all, to understand the bar chord, on the thick string, the E string, it's just an E major open chord and an E minor open chord with the first finger being the bar or the capo. So your finger's replacing this. So if I play an open E chord down here, or an E minor chord, if I do those shapes again, leaving this finger free to be the bar, then when I move it up somewhere, say I do it here, doesn't sound very nice, put my finger on, makes the major chord. So all we're doing is shifting the E major chord up, then putting the first finger on to reset sort of what happens down there. To know which chord you're playing, by shifting it up one each time, you could follow the notes on the piano. So if that was an E, shift it up one, and go to F, F sharp, G, G sharp. But to know which chord you play, you need to learn what note is on each fret on here. So I'm going to put a picture up, and it will tell you each note on the E string. So that then means if I play on fret 5 with my first finger, put that shape on, and I'm doing the major shape because it's based on the E major. So I'm doing it on fret 5, which is A, that now becomes A major. If I take the middle finger off to make the E minor shape, that's now A minor because I'm on fret 5. If I do it on fret 8, which is a C on that E string, finger on, that makes E major. Middle finger off makes C major, makes C minor. Fret 1 is F, major, minor, so on and so on and so on. So that's how you can learn your bar chords there. Then the task, I'm going to put some little chord progressions up. So 4 chords in an order. So if it says C, F, G, A minor, you'll have to play all those bar chords, the major shape or the minor shape, on the right frets. Then it's up to you whether you do a single strum or you do a few strums and turn it into a bit of a song. Hello and welcome to week 3 of the bass focus. Remember, 5-string bass, so forget about this thick string, doesn't exist. So this week we're going to learn some of the notes that are on our E string. So the thickest string on a 4-string bass. So I'm going to put up a diagram, and now you'll see all the notes that are on each fret. Now the reason why I want to learn these, even though we've got tab, is sometimes, especially in school, say someone wants to do a song, and Sir on the board might write it's G major to A minor to C to D. Then you have to go a bit further and work out which. Whereas if you already know where G, A, C and D is, then you're sorted. G, fret 3, A, fret 5, C is 8, D is 10. So that's one example. So I'm going to put some chord progressions down, and I want you to play on the E string. So we're going to learn the E string first of all. You can see on that picture there are the A strings there as well. So once you've nailed the E string, move on to that A string. Because rather than going 3, 5, then 8 for C, you'll see that fret 3 is C on the A string. So rather than shooting up to there, you can go and do smaller movements. And rather than just using one finger, you can play a bit easier like that, make it less work for yourself. Hello and welcome to week 3 of the vocal focus. We're going to look at a little bit of pronunciation and some scale major and minor work. I'm use a piano as an example here. So the difference between a major and a minor. Major, happy, sad for the minor. first two notes are exactly the same in both. Major. So it's the third note that's different. The minor one is just slightly lower. So if we sing the major one using La's, la 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 la, minor, la 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 la. So it's getting used to getting the difference between those. Then when it comes to singing a major song or a minor song, you're used to doing those intervals already. If you do have a piano handy, that's great, but what you can do is go onto YouTube. There's loads of examples of doing scales, majors and minors, and you can sing along to them. They get harder and harder as you go. So they might end up being like this for major. La 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 la. La 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 la. Then same with minor. La 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 la. And so on. Then what you can do, instead of using la, you put a different consonant at the start. So you might use and you want to quite harsh. So you might use a T, a P, an M, and then change the vowel. So use an O or an I or an A. So if we use T and O, toe, 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 then switch to M and I, my, then P and O, po, 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 po. It's a bit funny that one, but you get the idea. So you know, you're working your lips to get the different sounds as nice as clear as you can, and then using the scales. Welcome to the third week of Piano Focus. So this week we're going to look at some chords and working in the left hand and doing a little bit of a pattern with the playing. So we're going to use some simple chords: C, G, A minor, F. So the reason why I'm playing C is because they're all white notes, so nice and easy to remember. So anyone can have a go at this. And the rule is you play one, you miss one, you play one, you miss one. So if I play a C, miss one, play one, miss one, play one. When I play the G, same thing. Play one, miss one, play one, miss one. A, as long as you get that first note right, you use that rule, you'll be able to play the right chord. Then with the left hand, whatever chord you're playing in the right hand, the lowest note is what I'm going to stick in the left hand. So if I'm playing a C chord, I'm going to play a C, move to the G, A minor, F. But your task, once you've worked out the right hand and the left hand and getting the sounds right, is to then play alternately. So you're going to play the bass note followed by the chord. Now, if you had a look when I played that, I sort of set myself up a little bit. So when I finish the fourth right hand chord, that's when I start moving this so it lands in time. Now, if you can get it up to speed and in time, brilliant, but don't worry. As long as you're getting the right chords and that right sort of movement. So even if you go, so find where you are, you know, and take your time, and then you can start working on getting the speed right. Welcome to this week's Drum Focus. Last week we looked at adding and moving around the bass drum within your normal beats. This week we're going to do the same but with the cymbals. So instead of using the hi-hat, going onto the ride, going onto the crash, and doing a few different bits within those. So we're going to go back to our rock beat. Remember, you can add those extra kicks. So instead of the hi-hat, I'm going to take my right hand onto the ride cymbal. Do exactly the same as you did. Play eighths. And see if you can play it up. It's a little bit weird when you first do it because you're so used to having your hand over here crossed. But hand on the ride, just on the side. Don't hit it too hard. Then the exact same thing, but now on the bell, the top part. So you get the ding ding. It's a good idea to sort of watch the ride at that point. It's quite easy to sort of miss the bell and go on to the splash part of the ride, like the bigger part of the cymbal. So there's a little bit more accuracy on there on that one. On the crash, you can do the exact same thing, but this is a lot louder. So I'm going to tell you what you can do instead. So first of all, we'll do exactly the same. So because that rings out so much, what I'm going to do is play fours. So I'm only going to play when I hit the kick and hit the snare. So none in between. Gives a nice solid beat. When you want to play your loudest part in a song, the chorus, that's when you can move on to the crash. That's when you can move on to the ride. Probably not a great idea in the verse because it's probably a bit too loud. Then if you want to add it into other beats, so let's take our slow ballad 16 beat. Doing 4 instead. That works really well on the ride. Now if you want to take this a little bit further and try something a little bit trickier, go back to the rock beat and we're going to do alternate splash on the ride onto the bell of the ride. Within the rock beat. So when you hit the kick and the snare, that's when you're doing the splash part. Then the ones in between will be on the bell. So a bit slower. When you first do this, you really have to force it and really concentrate. Give it a